Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Local Marana podcast. It's been a couple weeks, but we got a new episode. I'm glad to jump in. I'm happy to be here as the host. My name is David Samorano. I'm on some other programs you might have seen on Live the Dream Media's podcast network. I also help with directing and some other stuff. I have a friend of mine that I've known for a long time, right?
Long time, yeah.
Probably a decade or more. And he has jumped into business ownership. And
Yes.
we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about growing up, and you're from Marana, so
Marana,
it seems appropriate to have you here on the Local Marana podcast.
Yes.
And I want to thank you again for being here on this Monday morning that we're doing this. And
Yeah, thank you.
it's great to have you here. And introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are.
So my name is Brett Bratton. I'm owner of Bloomin Blinds here in Tucson, Marana area. And I think we've known each other for probably almost 2 decades, actually.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. It makes us sound old.
we getting up there a little bit, middle age for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you, like I said, man. And you know, you're doing the Bloomin Blinds. What is that?
So Bloomin Blinds, well, it's a franchise, but I own it locally. We do window coverings, pretty much all things window coverings. Blind shades and shutters is kind of our bread and butter, but we also do like drapery, exteriors, roller shades, and we repair them as well.
Okay.
And that's kind of one of the things that sets us apart from our competition out there. There's another blind company in Tucson that does it, but for the most part, most of them don't touch repairs.
So it's just you and somebody else that's doing this in this market right now?
That does repairs, yeah. So sales, everybody does.
Yeah,
sales.
for sure. But the repair thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Why is that? Is the repairs timely sometimes? Are they?
Yeah, so there's not a lot of money to be made in them. Like it's hard to justify, like sometimes it is anyways, to come out and like fix something small that might take us 5 minutes and we still have to charge like $100. But it's like people don't realize how much it costs for me to get to your door, you know what I mean? The marketing for you to find me, the time, the insurance, the gas, all of that plays into it. And so, I mean, there's not a whole lot of money in it, but we still do okay.
Yeah.
Repairs are more for like the long game. You know, we're going to come in, we're going to do a good job. We're going to fix your blinds, give you more time. And usually when we're coming in, it's like, it's getting close to where you have to replace, and hopefully we build some rapport, and hopefully the customer is willing to give us a shot at selling in the future. So it's kind of a long game strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Smart. The repair's good. It's a good way to do lead generation.
Yeah.
It's a real good way.
It keeps us busy too. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's not always going to work out, just like everything else, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, there's definitely stuff where we come in and we can't do it, you know.
Yeah.
Parts are obsolete because the blinds are 30 years old or whatever. Or it's just a repair that we just can't do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody tears a fabric on a shade, there's nothing we can do for that.
So how do you end up doing this? Because this takes some balls.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
I mean,
let's talk about what you were doing before this.
Yeah, so
I know you were telling me about the casino or something, but let's even go a little further back and start talking about your career moves and how you end up in this.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we went to high school together, graduated Marana.
Played football, go Tigers.
Yeah,
that's kind of a rough season.
Bit, we weren't that great, but it was still fun. So I graduated. After high school, I went and worked for a vending company right out of high school. So filled vending machines, which right out of high school, I was making great money back then. So I was doing that. I dabbled in college, realized that wasn't for me. I mean, I didn't do that great in high school either. Although my grades were good, I don't feel like it was my jam.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was like, okay, working on my working man's PhD. Let's go out there and work.
What did you say? You working on your what?
Working man's PhD. It's a country song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good though.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. I talk about this all the time, man.
Yeah.
And you were in school the same time I was. You were sold on the idea, go to college, get a loan.
Yeah.
Don't worry, get a loan. You can pay for it this way.
Yep.
And all that stuff. You didn't do that.
I didn't do that. No.
And you said working man's PhD. There's something to learn from being in the workforce.
Yeah. I agree. Mm-hmm.
Learn dedication, commitment, right? Accountability,
responsibility, all that stuff.
ownership,
Yeah.
being punctual.
Yeah.
All that stuff, right? That's real important.
It is. Yeah.
Tools.
I mean, it's equally important. I think a lot of times college degrees, companies are looking just to see if you're a responsible person.
Mm-hmm.
Can you complete something? I don't think a lot of times they don't even care about what you learned. It's all about, were you responsible enough to get your degree?
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, there's value in that, of course, too. So I'm not knocking on anybody that went to college.
Yeah, same here. But
Yeah.
I think that the people that go and get the working man's PhD or working woman's PhD do get knocked.
Yeah,
You
they
know
do.
what I mean?
Sometimes.
That's obvious to me.
Yeah,
Right. It happens often.
I think the biggest knock on the working man's PhD would be people that go out and they stay in the same position. They don't strive for better. They don't try and move up or transition. I think that's the biggest knock on that.
Yeah.
And I can see that where that could be a problem too. So
Well, I would say that, if people aren't wanting to do that, that's on them, and you're gonna get, there's a consequence.
Of course,
to it. It's like everything, right?
It's just like going to college and
Yeah.
and getting a degree that doesn't provide any value.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I think the thing we're seeing right now in our culture is people doing that but expecting more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you agree that that's pretty?
I think that
often,
I think a lot of the younger generation comes out and they
entitlement is like
entitlement. It's a big deal. Yeah,
We're-
it's tough.
we were talking. I did a podcast last week with the owner of Pitch Rocks Heating and Cooling,
Oh yeah,
Ron Arenas.
Yep.
I'm sure you know.
I know. Yeah.
And his son Alex, and we were talking about the trophy generation because when you and I played football, that wasn't there,
No. Yeah.
right? But I went back and started coaching there a couple years later. But
cool,
towards the
yeah.
end of my tenure, started seeing the trophy generation come into the football program.
Yeah.
Well, the trophy generation isn't only the kids that are affected by it; it's the parents too, because
Right.
the parents brought that about and they allowed that to happen. So now you had them in the workforce, and then you have the parents
That's true.
pushing the entitlement. But you said it, man. Like, no offense to the younger generation, but like the idea that you're gonna come out here and get everything right away.
Yeah, the world doesn't owe you anything.
It doesn't owe you, and
Anything.
it won't. Like,
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not
your mama always
happen.
love you, but that's about it. The world isn't gonna love you. It's just the way it is.
yeah.
Especially if you're a man, I feel like. But I mean, that's my opinion.
Well, why you say that?
I feel like.
Don't be scared to say it on here. We're not regulated by the FCC, so
No, I feel like women tend to get a little bit more love from their friends and family.
yeah,
Men are expected to thrive,
yeah,
and when they don't, it's they don't get sympathy. I guess.
yeah,
Not always, but I think it's a common factor where men feel unnoticed or unloved.
yeah.
But not always, of course. There's always exceptions. But
Well, something's going on
yeah,
because right now there's 7.5 million men that are able to work in this country that are refusing to work and not working.
that's kind of a scary number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Again,
It
it's
is.
something I talked about on another podcast. And I think it was even brought up on probably one of Joe Rogan's podcasts or something like that. But so you're saying that there's a lot of unnoticed going on. There's not a lot of love going on so another thing
think,
is
I
the
don't know.
suicide rate's pretty high for guys right now,
Yeah, so
especially in our
men
age group.
have it. That's kind of a rough thing for men to deal with
Yeah.
because, men a lot of times lack that sense of purpose, and I think that entitlement mentality leads to like not having a purpose, and that I feel like that corrupts the mind of a man. I don't know. This is all speculation, of course, but yeah.
So right, like listeners, remember we're not doctors or psychologists here, but what we're talking about is from life experience and what we're
Yeah,
seeing and
yeah.
feeling, and
So
the
I feel like-
conversations we have with people. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I feel like these men that might be entitled come out and they expect the world to love them. They expect the world to give them everything, and then they come out and they're like they're not receiving that, and then all of a sudden, and this could be true for women too, but I think women can find a lot of purpose in having like kids and stuff like that. Men tend to derive purpose out of like what they can give to the world or what they can provide to the world or their family or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that when you lack that sense of like drive to go out and find your purpose, it all of a sudden you're 30 and you have nothing going for you, and you have no experience or life experience because you've been playing video games or whatever it is, and or you end up into drugs or something like that, and I think that's very detrimental in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. No, hey, there's correlations between what you're talking about and the statistics that are here.
Yeah.
And I've had some conversations with some pastors and stuff like that, things they're seeing, especially like a college pastor was talking about. Yeah, there's really like there's an entitlement thing for sure that I think it's impacting. And I think I think that goes into our culture. And Kirby hit on it. Kirby's directing, so listeners, there's somebody else here helping us, and he's like the immediate gratitude culture. And he's younger. So how old are you, Kirby? He's 22 years old, and he's telling me that in his ear that he's seeing that, right? So this immediate gratitude and immediate gratification, it's here.
Right.
And the social media doesn't help either, right?
Yeah,
like,
TikTok.
Hey,
every 5 seconds you get a new
yeah.
burst of something exciting.
Yeah, because everybody's putting out there that success is what I'm doing that looks cool or is cool, and how much I'm making, how much money I'm making.
Yeah.
Like, my opinion, being a dad of 2 now and a follower of God, like, that is not success.
Yeah.
That is not success at all. My success now is my children's success.
Yeah.
Which
fair.
leads to them having purpose, having drive, being kind, taking care of other people, loving other people, right?
Yeah.
You're not always going to receive it, but when you're not always receiving it, it could be hard to give love, but you got to give love all the time, right? Like you really do. So I think it's that's success to me now. Now, when I was younger, before all that, I would say probably, what am I doing? What can I afford? What am I buying? But I talk to my wife about this all the time. We consider that we left the rat race probably about 5 to 7 years ago.
Oh, good.
We
That's
left
awesome.
it, right?
Yeah.
Because most people are in it.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about, the rat
of course,
race, right? Like, and then keeping up with your neighbors and what they have and all the nice stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we left it.
Yeah.
We made a move with real estate, and we did some cool stuff and paid off a bunch of debt using
awesome.
Dave Ramsey and some other stuff. And now, so when you think about success now, like, what do you do at that point, right? Like you're like, I'm not sitting here saying, hey, we're rich, we're loaded and everything.
No,
we're out of the race because we don't
awesome.
need to be it no more.
Yeah.
So I think we could say that, like, that instant gratification, that success model is bullshit. BS, right? It's BS. It's totally BS.
Yeah.
It's not.
I agree, and I think that's the main reason why I made the moves that I did to get involved in this company.
Yeah, let's get back on that. I took
yeah,
us down the
no,
road, but it
you're
was a
good.
good road because
Yeah,
you
it's
had a
a
lot
good
of good
road.
insight, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
that.
So, I mean, making this move is my attempt to escape the rat race. So I'll kind of go back a little bit. I worked at a vending company for 7 years, and I saved my money and whatever. I bought a house real young, not a nice house, but it was a house, and I lived there for like 11 years. I bought it when I was 20 because I was making good money right out of high school, and lived there for 11 years. Eventually, ended up kind of getting lucky and going and doing a class at the casino they were offering. The casino has native preference, so Native Americans get automatic preference. They get hired before anybody else, no matter how well they do in the class. And when I signed up for the class, there was, I think, 12 or 14 Native people, and there were 12 or 14 openings for the casino for dealing cards, blackjack, whatnot. And I went in and I was like, well, I'll do it for fun. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of like gambling a little bit for fun. I'm not bad about it. You know, I've always played with like poker with friends growing up and things like that, and I always found it, you know, fun. And I've been good.
Yeah.
I'm good with arithmetic. I wouldn't say I'm good with math in general, but
You're like
arithmetic.
Rain Man?
No. But yeah, I'm decent at it. So I took the class and I did it for fun. And a couple weeks prior to the class ending, something happened to where some dealers ended up losing their jobs, and it opened up a bunch of spaces. And there was like probably 50 other people that were non-native in the class, and I was like one of 10 that were chosen or something
Nice.
like that. So I got really lucky there. Got on with the casino, was saving my, you know, kind of saving my money there, and you know, if you don't know it, casino dealers make pretty good money. And well, anyways, they were building another casino up in Glendale, Desert Diamond, and they offered me a job up there. And new casinos are big money for dealers, and so it was an opportunity. And so I sold my house, moved everything up there, got an apartment not far from the casino, which was really nice. And probably like 6 months into working there, the lockdown hit, COVID lockdown. And yeah, so I was sitting in my apartment all alone, you know, overthinking.
Yeah.
And going, yeah. My original plan was to go up there for 5 years and then come back.
Yeah.
And the whole
That
COVID
got cut a little short, huh?
Yeah. It got cut real short. The casino life, like, it sounds fun. It is fun at first, dealing cards, but eventually it turns into like tedious, almost mind-numbing. And eventually you start noticing like the deterioration of people and things of that nature.
What do you mean by that?
And like people
Seeing your
coming
frequents?
in, yeah, seeing people coming in like, you know, initially, well, most people don't realize is like when you walk into a casino, it's packed. You think these are just all random people. A good majority of those people come in all the time.
What would you say the percentage-wise estimate?
I don't know. I would say probably half.
Damn.
Half
50%?
50%. Maybe it's
Yeah.
less than that. I don't know, but maybe it's a cognitive bias. But I think that there's a lot of people that are repeat customers and come in there all the time, and some people, you know, they lose everything, you know, eventually, and it's really sad in that regard. On top of that, there was no sense of purpose when I was there. There's no sense of growth. There was no sense of, you know, I don't know. Fulfillment is the word I'm looking for. There was none of that when I was dealing cards. I was making good money, but I'd get off work and have no sense of like, yes, I did that or whatever. So that was my biggest, like, as I was sitting in my apartment going, man, I'm like not happy. You know, I have money, but I'm not happy. I'm away from my family and friends now, and I was kind of depressed.
You
really.
said it, man. I
Yeah.
have money, but I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the money. I was doing well. I would probably be, you know, if I would have stayed, I'd probably be way better off as far as money goes right now. Although I think I have more potential with the business in the long run. But yeah, I mean, I made the move. Basically, I went online going, because I had sold my house. I made some money.
I
plus
was going to ask you
saving.
about that. Yeah.
Plus saving.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I have this money. What can I do with it to
Yeah.
get me back to Tucson and do my own thing? Like, and I ended up not really finding anything that I could do alone. And I was like, I don't know. And I ended up going into like franchises. And a franchise is like, it's a pre-written business, successful business. And I was like, maybe that could work. And I went on and I looked for a couple days. I was looking through different franchises, probably looked through a couple hundred. None of them fit what I wanted to do. I had like a certain criteria. You know, I didn't want to be in an office. I didn't want to be stuck at home.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, I don't know. I wanted to be out and about. I wanted to be working with my hands. I wanted to be working with people. And this was kind of the only thing that fit my budget. and fit all my criteria. Was Bloomin' Blinds, and it was the only one I called. And I ended up talking with the CEO for like 4 hours first day I called him.
Yeah.
And I hit it off with them, and I hit it off with him, and it's owned by 3 brothers, and they run it. And it's grown a lot since I came on board, so now they have a lot of employees. But at the time, it was just the 3 brothers doing everything.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I just connected really well with them. I connected. I felt like this is something I could do.
Yeah.
And so I pulled the trigger, quit the job, came
You're
back to Tucson.
You're your own boss now.
Yeah, I sort of. I feel like every customer is my boss right now.
Yeah. Hey, they are, right?
Yeah, they are.
They
I mean,
and
people say that, but it's like if a customer's like, "Hey, I can't do any day but Saturday," guess who's coming on a Saturday?
Right.
Like,
right.
Because I value money and my customers. So I mean, most other companies aren't going to do that. So
No.
Or an evening appointment. If somebody's like, "Hey, I can only do Tuesday night," I'll probably do it. If they ask nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is more freedom in the regards of like if I want to take vacation. Although people don't realize when a business owner takes vacation, he comes back and he got to do all the work still. So it's not like a vacation, It's not It's not like with work. You can take a vacation, you come back, and it's just work. It's the same thing.
Right, man. Yeah. No. Cool story.
Yeah.
About that. So, wife wanted to get away. I wanted to get away too. We went up to Sedona.
Yeah.
I think it was like late February or March or something. And I was like, I knew in my head, I was like, I had a lot of work to do still, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my business partner, the president, Clint, he's like, don't take your suitcase with you when you go, But I took a backpack, and my wife was like, I'm gonna go to the spa. Well, I was like, go to the spa or go work. So I was like, I'm gonna make it enjoyable somehow. So I came with this idea, dropped the wife off at the spa, took my computer and stuff, and I just hotspotted my phone, and I sat on top of the airplane, or was it the airplane vista or whatever it is up there at the top.
Yeah.
I sat on a rock overseeing all of Sedona, and I just did my work right there on the very top of the mountain.
That's
just
cool.
Sitting outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to come back to
a mess, right?
all the emails and then, hey,
yeah.
did you know what I mean? So, cause like
it's so hard to enjoy a vacation as a business owner because
and you're not awful.
People always expect, well, not everybody, but a lot of people expect a quick response. And if you go for a 4-day vacation and you don't respond to somebody in 4 days, you're in trouble as a business owner. Like, for that customer, So yeah, it's different. It's very different. A lot of different stressors, and opposite of the casino life. I feel like every day is a learning experience. Every day I'm growing. Every day I have a sense of purpose. Every day I have a sense of fulfillment. When I walk out of a customer's home and everything is better, or not everything, but their house is better after I'm leaving and they're happy and smiling, as opposed to the casino where they were mad at me every time they left. Well, not every time, but a lot of the times they're mad at me because I took their money.
Gosh.
Took their money and didn't provide any kind of value,
man. That's hard.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's hard. I can't even imagine, dude. I can't.
Yeah, it's tough, and it looks like a fun job, and it is sometimes,
Yeah. How do you feel mentally?
Mentally?
How do you feel like with like your emotional being your own franchise owner? Do you feel a lot more clarity in it?
No, I wouldn't say clarity. No, that's not what I got. No.
What you got?
I mean, there's a roller coaster of emotions every day.
But you know what, dude? You don't even. I don't know if you realize it, but that's why you like it.
Probably, yeah.
You like to rush, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You get those big wins. You're like, yeah.
I mean, it is a to a point. It is a game.
Yeah.
You go out and you're trying to you're not trying to manipulate people because that has a negative connotation, but you're trying to build rapport really fast. You're trying to convince them that you are trustworthy,
Right.
and you're trying to convince them that your product is going to be something that they're going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is a game to a point. You're trying to do your best strategy
Right.
to make the sale or make them like you or whatever it may be. And every day is like you're trying to critique yourself. You're leaving that appointment going, man, I should have said this, or maybe I should have said that, or I don't know. And then when you do leave and you got the sale, you're like, you get that rush of excitement,
Yeah.
So that's good too. And but beyond that, there's always that sense of fear and that sense of, rejection that's gonna inevitably happen. Like I get rejected constantly, you know, not constantly, but like compared to a normal person that doesn't do sales, like rejection is something that's normal in sales.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't realize too, is when you do this, you have to make sales. Like nothing's coming to you.
Nothing's coming to
The
me.
world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody owes you clients.
Yep.
Most people aren't going to give you clients because they're your competition.
Yep.
Right. So you have to go and make those sales. So yeah, rejection is something, again, man, I can relate to across this table. Like you put together a great proposal, you go to meetings and it doesn't happen. But there's also this crazy thing that happens too with relationships. I'm sure you've had this happen, but you start a conversation 12 months ago and a year later it turns into a client.
Yeah.
That happens.
That does happen sometimes.
So,
yeah.
And so you're in this, like, you're in, you're in limbo.
Yeah.
until, but you know what,
they call that pipeline sales.
Yeah.
So like you're constantly feeding your pipeline with everything you do. Really, you're trying to feed that pipeline of potential sale down the road. And I mean, I've definitely had where I had a chat with somebody about it, a year ago or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're calling and I'm going in and doing my thing. Get the sale or whatever, that definitely happens.
Right.
I don't know.
So how long have you been doing this now?
3 years, almost a little over 3 years. Yeah.
There's this old myth that 5 years is like this
That's
tipping point kind of thing.
That's the tipping point.
Where you like either
go or you stop. That's scary. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how true that is. You know what I mean?
I think it's true to
we're
a
entering
point.
year 4 here.
Yeah.
So you and I kind of started not too far off from each other.
Yeah. I definitely think that there's some validation to that. I feel like even 3 years in, I feel like I'm still volatile. Like I could fail. I don't want to fail. I don't plan to fail.
Yeah.
But it could happen. I haven't exploded, yet.
That explosion thing, dude, let me talk about this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me try to think how I'm going to word this. I always envisioned the big sale or like the big client is like this confetti falling from the sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's just because of what you grew, you see movies and stuff. You see like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? It's great. It's cool and all that. But I can tell you that being through something kind of like that, it's not like that at all. It's kind of like business as usual. It's actually like how it felt for us is it's this impactful understanding of responsibility.
Yeah.
It's changed, right? It used to be like, hey, we're going and doing these things, but now it became like you have this big thing to take care of.
Yeah.
It's like having a kid essentially,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to nurture and take care of this kid, like
it is.
and help them grow. Like
that's
what we do, right? We make things happen. We help businesses grow, and the confetti did not fall. There's not people coming in running in with bottles of champagne, but what you do get out of it is you get the experience and the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So this explosion thing, maybe it'll happen for you. Well, I don't know. Maybe someone's gonna come, but
I don't know if explode is the right word, but I think that as a business, it's kind of like the snowball effect. You start out real tiny, and then you start to grow and grow, and as you grow, you tend to start growing faster.
Right.
And I feel like I'm still kind of like in the process of growing, but I'm like right on the cusp of potentially like building that ball up
You'll
quicker.
get there, bro. I know you, man.
Yeah.
I do. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah,
You can see a lot.
think-
You can learn a lot from somebody in sports.
Yeah.
Show up.
I don't know.
You'll get there.
We'll see.
If it isn't Bloomin' Blinds, it might be something else.
It
You
might
never
be.
know.
Yeah.
You never know what the plan
yeah,
is, right?
I mean, I'm very sold that this is gonna be my life.
Good. You should be.
Yeah.
Because that's your baby now, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I mean, at least for the next 10, 20 years. So, but I've been definitely putting myself out there and really trying to grow. I mean, I hired my brother on back in January.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's good. And
You've definitely been out there. I mean, that's how we ran into each other.
yeah,
I don't go to any network, dude. That's like a rare thing I go to.
Oh yeah.
Because how do you feel about all that stuff?
Networking.
Like going to the chambers and stuff like that.
I mean,
how do you feel?
What do you mean? How do I feel
Do you feel like it's worth it the time you're there?
Like
Add them up.
I don't know yet.
6 months.
So so here's the thing. I didn't network for the first couple years because COVID. There wasn't really any
Right,
networking
yeah.
events and
Mhm.
whatever. And I've kind of been, since last year, I've been kind of really trying to network because I think there's a lot of value in it. So I do
There
think
is,
there's
man.
value.
Absolutely.
I can't say that I'm good at it because I've only been doing it since probably like, I don't know, November of last year. I've been like really trying to get out there. And I think for the first probably 6 months of doing it, I did it wrong. I think that I went out and I was just trying to meet everybody.
Mhm.
I was just trying to touch everybody at a networking event.
Mhm.
Say hi, introduce myself, tell them what I do. Say hi, introduce myself.
How many business cards did you get?
I mean, I've handed out.
How many did you get though?
Oh, I've gotten a million. I got stacks because everybody's trying to do the same thing with me.
I know, man.
And, which is fine. That's
I'm just
cool.
having fun with this perspective thing.
Yeah,
because I've been
yeah.
down this. I've been down
Oh,
this road,
yeah.
bro. I think we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I'm just seeing where you're at. I want to.
Yeah. So I'm realizing that doesn't build that doesn't build anything. Most people are gonna forget you right out the gate, just like I've forgotten most of those people that have given me their business cards.
Right.
And so there's not a lot of value in that. And I've realized that in order to really get value is to sit down like this and talk to
This is
somebody.
gonna be huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and not necessarily the podcast, which that's going to be huge too. I think, if people listen to it, or when people listen to it, I should say. But it's more so like just sitting down and getting to know somebody and having them get to know me and really building like a relationship with somebody.
Dude, lunches are powerful.
Huge.
Coffees. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Those are the people that I've sat down with so far, and I've only been doing it for a few months, are way more likely to remember me and refer me out.
Yeah.
And I've realized that the first 6 months it was a little bit of awareness, like people were starting to remember me, but like that didn't bring me a whole lot of referrals.
Right.
Right. I think that now that I'm starting to realize that I need to sit down with people and really build that relationship with people is huge. And I think it's going to be valuable for those people too with me because I'm more likely to refer them out if they're sitting down with me.
Right.
Yeah. I'll remember their name, I'll remember their company, and so on. Yeah.
We should refer each other to people.
Yeah.
I will, man. I will. I just haven't gotten the opportunity, man.
No, you're good.
I think as we get closer to like next summer, we'll probably have a couple, but I might even hit you up.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, man. The same thing, dude. I went to a couple like events, and I'm like, this ain't my gig, man. Like, it was and no disrespect to them. They are they're perfect for what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And what I found out was I was leaving. Even the young professionals one, dude. Honestly, that was probably the one that I was
I've never been
taken by. That was not very good.
Oh, okay.
And it was like we went somewhere. I'm not gonna say where we went and who was involved, but basically we went somewhere and it was just a lot of like, it wasn't focused at all, and people were just handing out cards, and that's all it was. And every other card was a real estate agent, insurance agent, real estate agent, insurance agent, real estate agent, insurance agent.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I didn't meet Brett's.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't meet owners, and I'm like, I was looking, I was like, okay, there's nobody here that like I was like, I could go get insurance or whatever else, but like none of them are gonna use me. Yeah. Like I know that already. They all have their own companies that do all their stuff already. So I was like, oh, this isn't working. And then you know, I found out quickly that wasn't kind of where I needed to be. I needed to be in more of like a mentorship kind of thing. So that's kind of the route I went after that. Oh, good. Because they are, like I said, they're good for what they are. You're going to see me pop up at stuff like you saw. Nobody knows this, but we saw each other at the Marana pumpkin patch for the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, Marana Chamber held a ribbon cutting, yeah.
Yeah, so we love John Post and what he does, and we really support him, and we were out there, and we support the chamber too, and what they're doing. But yeah, we were just out there because we've done that every year, is go to that event for sure, because it's so Marana oriented, and we know local Marana, and our new media blog and all that, and This is Marana is our new one. Yeah, cool. Which is really cool. But yeah, man, I saw you and we were like, let's go talk, man. Like, let's go do a podcast and stuff like that. But other than that, you and I and Ron Arenas and a couple other things, there really wasn't, like, I wasn't going out and, you know, story. I'm in line and there's a guy. I'm in line with Tammy, who owns Copper Creek Cookies right here. Yep. We're just going in line to get food. And this guy goes, "What are you doing here?" Like, what? What do you mean? Like, we're here for the event, you know what I mean? He's like, "Yeah, what are you here?" I'm like, "I'm here for the people." People? I'm like, "Yeah, we're here for the people." Yeah. So he grabs his, hands me his business card. I'm like, "Thanks, man." Yeah. Yeah.
I really try not to be that guy. I might have been that guy at the beginning when I first went out. Yeah. I don't think I was that aggressive about it though.
No, that's good. I didn't want to. I never wanted to be like that either. I don't want to. Like, we do sale. Like, we don't. The crazy thing is, we don't do a lot of sales. Like, we don't go out and because we don't have to. Right. And I think that's been a blessing so far. But and it's been because the networking you were talking about, going to lunches, going to doing those things, going to the pumpkin patch. I think some stuff has happened from that, but no, relationships have been the key thing for us. Yeah. Number one. Relationships.
I think that's true.
Yeah. I'd say networking true. After that, but relationships was one, networking two. You know what I mean?
I think the mindset should be going to these networking events to find the relationships.
Right. And that's what's hard though.
Yeah, that's hard.
So like all of the people, not all of them, but most of the people that are at those, they're getting paid hourly to be there. Yeah. They work for somebody.
That's true.
I don't, or Clint and Tammy, we don't get paid for being there. No. There's nobody cutting us a check for going to that event. Like, so when you're taking away time to go to those, it's really hard for me at this time to go, this adds up to, you know what I mean? If you're going to be a nerd and go ROI in relation to what I'm doing. Yeah. It's like, I don't.
Yeah. It's a little different for me though, because I'm single. I don't have kids.
You're right. Yeah, man. You should just be different. Like running with the torch everywhere.
Yeah, I am. I'm out there. So, I don't know. I don't know. Relationships haven't worked out for me.
Kirby.
So
yeah. Hey, you know what? 99% of them don't work out. So if you're looking for, don't. It's what I tell Kirby all the time. Kirby's the director in here, and he's like, he talks about stuff all the time, and I'm like, dude, don't even. When you're not looking, it's when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm 99% of my focus is on the business. And
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's a blessing for sure, dude, to be able to do that. Because there's a lot of people that go into this stuff and they've already got this whole life behind, right? Yeah. Like all this stuff to take care of. Yeah, you get to go on this and just
I mean, my attachment malfunctions have led to me being able to do this, so it's good.
Yeah, don't sweat it, man. I think it's no woman, no cry, man.
That's fair. That's fair.
Bob Marley.
I think there's a lot of truth to that, because I think that's one of the main reasons that I've stayed single, and the times that I've been single is because of the previous heartache. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, F that. I don't want that. You know,
Dude, I went years where I was
Yeah.
like, I'm
same.
not even gonna. I was like, I'm just gonna get stuff done.
Yeah, and
Have
I went
fun.
years and was single, and then I tried it again, and I went through all the pain again, and okay, now I'm single again. I think I'll just stay this way for a little while. Who
Yeah.
knows though? Maybe I'll find somebody.
Yeah, maybe some lady will
Yeah.
watch this podcast or listen to this podcast. Be like, all right, yeah, let's go.
Hey, ladies, no.
Just be like, I'm gonna help you. Yeah. Dude, it's been awesome having you on here, man.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it.
I really wish you the best with your endeavor, man. I hope you
Thank you.
are super successful. I don't have any real doubts. Like, I'm not like, dude, you're selling stuff that defeats the sun in the desert. Like, how do you lose, bro? Like,
I mean, that's fair, but also there's like a lot of other blind companies here in Tucson. So
yeah. How many would you say there are in this area?
if you include like Home Depot and all them, like probably like 15. Like,
Yeah, but they don't come and install it as fast as you do, though. Like, response wise.
no,
There's
probably
no
not.
way,
Not
dude.
Home Depot or
Anytime I've tried
Lowe's
to
or
do anything with
Costco.
those, one of those
Good.
places, it's like weeks out. Sometimes
Yeah.
months. I'm like, I was hoping to have this like
Yeah,
2 weeks, but
there, if you're saying like companies like me, probably
Yeah.
10. I'm guessing.
yeah,
Yeah, probably around 10, maybe
Mm-hmm.
more. I don't know, but I mean, I feel like that's a lot. So
yeah. What's your plan to stand out?
I just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, networking, going out, building relationships, referrals are huge. I've been working on growing my social media, and you know, I mean, this is great. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, hey, we're gonna cut this up into reels. There's gonna
Yeah.
be stuff going around. People are
Yeah.
gonna see all
This is
that. You
awesome,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So that's
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna cut it, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
awesome.
go to a lunch.
Cool.
We'll
gotta
go to lunch soon, though.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
We'll
I
do
got-
that for sure.
I got an appointment right now too.
That's
so
good.
I got to get to. So
That's good.
works.
Well, appreciate you being here, man.
Hey,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.